Hey Algebra, it's Mr. Sayer here. So we're going to go ahead and go over factoring polynomials and finding the GCF of that. So the keywords when we look at these directions is you see word factor. All right, so what we're going to do is in this problem down here is we're going to find the biggest thing. Remember, it's biggest number that all terms can be divided by. So if I look here, I have 4 and 16. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy factor chart. And one of the things that I always recommend to students is to always start with the smallest number and see if it works. And actually, you know what? This is not the chart I want to use. So give me a sec. I'm going to pause this and get the right one. All right. Here's the factor chart that let me try that again. Here's the factor chart that we're going to use. This one actually works better for these problems. All right. So what I've got here is we're going to go and we're going to look at the smallest number first. So we have 4 and see if it's on the list for the other number, which is 16. It happens to be, which is great because that's what we're trying to do. So what we're going to do is when we say the word factor out, that means you're going to pull the greatest common factor out of the parenthesis. Okay. And then you can open a parenthesis. So this is, if you remember the distributive property, rainbows, pumpkins, unicorns, this is just the opposite. So in the way this works is we divide each term by the number that we just factored out. And so 4x divided by 4 is just x. And then if we look, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And that is our answer. So if you remember when we did the distributive property, it's the opposite of that. So if I were to go back and I were to do that, I get 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times 4, which is 16, which gives you my problem. All right. So here's the next one. Same kind of thing. We're going to look at our chart again and see we've got 30 and 3. So I'm going to look, and my factors for 3 are 1 and 3, and then my factors for 30. 3 happens to be right there on the list. So that's great. So I'm going to use that. All right. So I'm going to factor out a 3. I'm going to open a parenthesis, and then I'm going to divide each term by 3. So 30x divided by 3 is 10x. And then do not lose this negative sign. A lot of students will just say forget about it or ignore it, but you have to have it. And that would be -1. If you're stuck on the math for the dividing and such, just use your calculator. All right. One more problem, and then you guys can work on your assignment. So what we've got right here is 3 terms, so it's a little different, but same kind of process. We're going to look for the biggest number that's on all 3 of these lists. So again, just what we do each time is go to this factor chart. We've got 4 right here. Okay, and on this list, I've got 4s on that list, right? It's one of the biggest numbers. And then we also have these, and 4s on that list too. Now, it doesn't always have to be one of the numbers. It just happened that these 3 examples work out that way. So remember that. So you might have to look for other numbers on the lists. So I'm going to factor out a 4. I'm going to divide each term by 4. I'm going to plug in parentheses. I'm going to get x minus 5y plus 1. Okay, and that is my final answer. All right, what I'd like you to do is work on assignment 38 for now, and then there'll be a quiz posted on Monday for this. Let me know if you have any questions.